Hey, welcome to Novak Reviews again. I'm Ian Liao Loco, and now to join me in our new location for this video, Knicker's Chicken. So, we just got done seeing for the second time Blade Runner 2049. And was it worth going back again?
Yep.
Yes, it was.
Saw a lot of, well, I mean, didn't see a lot of things, but I mean, stuff kind of made more sense the second time, you know, because you missed a lot of stuff, so.
Yeah. And just to let our viewers know, we'll quickly describe the first Blade Runner and how we felt. I'm in the large majority of people that say that it's a not perfect masterpiece, because there's just two things to me that stick out that keep it from being an absolute perfect masterpiece. I didn't really think that Deckard and the relationship was really well done. It was really forced. And actually, if you watch that scene again, to me it feels a little rapey-ish. And I guess another small thing could be that it can get kind of slow at some points, but that's just to build the atmosphere and the setting. Other than that, I really don't have a lot of problems with the original Blade Runner. I do suggest watching the final cut version. The theatrical cut is not really that good, in my opinion. And the director's cut is a little bit better, but the final cut I think is better. So I would give the original Blade Runner from 1982 an A. Your thoughts on Blade Runner?
Pretty much the same thing as you. I thought they brought something new. It was like 1982, so they hadn't had a lot of stuff like that. And I think that started a lot of sci-fi stuff today, actually. And
It inspired countless.
yeah, and of course, Harrison Ford is Harrison Ford. He's fantastic. He's in a lot of, universes, you could say.
Yeah.
But I really didn't have I like it. The final cut is the thing you should watch for sure. There's some foggy stuff in the theatrical version, but I think they fixed it in the final cut, and I'd give the final cut an A for sure.
Okay. So, yeah, there was actually a lot of anticipation going into this. Not just because it's a sequel to a really great sci-fi movie, but it was who was working on it and who was coming back.
Yeah.
And that's Harrison Ford was coming back. I'm sorry if I'm going to butcher your name, Denis Villeneuve or whatever. The director, he directed...
This Villeneuve.
He directed Prisoners, Arrival from last year. And I want to see more of his stuff, but I heard Enemy is also really good. The visual way that he directs, I think, is really good. And when I found out that he was directing this Blade Runner, I was like, okay, that's a score.
Literally every scene was mind-blowing.
Well,
literally, you look at every little thing, every little detail, and it's crazy.
Well, but that then goes to the next part that I found out, which was Roger Deakins was the cinematographer. And I'm not going to be able to list all the ones, but the biggest one that he did was Shawshank Redemption, and it looked beautiful. Now, he's been nominated several times for Best Cinematographer, never ever won. If he does not win in this one, I'm done with you. I'm done with you, Academy. Cause,
pretty much already done with it in general, so.
Because this film was fucking gorgeous.
In more ways than one. Yeah. I'm not going to go into that.
Every scene looked not wrong with the way that they made it look.
And the sounds and the sights and all that stuff went perfectly with every scene. And I don't know, it's crazy.
Now that is the one advantage of seeing it in the theater. I don't know how it's going to progress when you're watching it on a TV, depending on if you have surround sound
the
or
DTS
not.
is really loud, so yeah.
So some people have gone on record with how they've approached reviewing this by not saying a lot about it. I do kind of agree with that, just because I feel like you need to go see this, and even though we did see a fair amount of people at both screenings, I still don't think this is gonna probably make a lot of money, which is gonna be a shame because this is a really, really good movie. But so this takes place in 2049,
California.
California. The first one took place in 2019, which
It's coming up.
2 years away. Yeah, we're definitely looking like we're gonna approach that. LA might. Ryan Gosling is also works for the police department in this time, and he has a mystery that he has to now solve. He has to go to Deckard to help out because he realizes that he's the only one that has information about some certain stuff.
He goes by Officer K.
Yeah. Just a lot of personal revelations are brought up. Some answers are given about from the first one, especially if Deckard is a replicant or not, which we are not going to say if he is or not. But just this is a visual to just watch and pay attention to everything. Every scene I think has some meaning with it. Ryan Gosling is really good.
He's by himself a lot in the movie
Yeah,
too.
he
He
is.
does really well, and I think they every scene explained something and brought some kind of piece to a puzzle together. I thought, and it ended up making a lot of sense at the end.
Yeah. A big improvement to me, in especially both screenings that I just did with it, was the actual kind of romance that Ryan Gosling has with this woman in it. Just that's all I'm gonna say.
Another beautiful part of it.
I felt like that was more fully realized to me than Deckard and Rachel. They do bring that stuff up later, but I don't know. I felt more connected with those two as a couple than I did with Deckard and Rachel. This definitely is, without a doubt, one of the most impressive movies I've seen that have been jumping basically decades to film. Harrison Ford, I think, actually gives a better performance in this, even though he's not in it until halfway through.
More than half.
Yeah.
At least 2 hours in, actually, probably, or close to it.
And for those of you that are concerned about Mr. Leto in this, here's one point. He's actually not in it a whole lot.
I do like his name though.
But when he is in it, he actually does pretty
He's
damn
awesome.
good.
So much better than Suicide Squad. God.
Well, we
Yeah.
have to move on from that.
Mhm.
There's too much problems there. Yeah, this is another one of those tough ones, kind of like Mother, to really describe in a review without spoiling stuff.
Oh, and I loved. He wasn't in it very much, but Sapper Morton was played by Dave Bautista, and he is becoming. I didn't think I'd ever say this because he wasn't really great at his promos in WWE, but he's becoming a great actor, and he wasn't in it very much, but from what it was in, I thoroughly enjoyed, and he was a bigger part than most because he was actually in it at certain parts, and I'm not going to say any more than that, but he keeps it in memory.
There were a few moments that I think maybe I noticed, whether you took it as funny or not, there were a little less moments probably to me, but there were actually some comedic performances, not like performance but scenes, that I think elevated this a little bit higher up for me when it comes to the original also. So if you kind of can't guess, just because again I'm urging you all to go see this, because it is an experience for the theater. Unless you have an 80-some inch TV, you can't get the full grasp of it. I'm not gonna delve much more into the plot, just because it would spoil some stuff. Maybe we'll do some kind of spoiler stuff in the future about it. But I actually think that this is without a doubt going to be in my best of the year. It's then going to turn into, well, I have to watch some stuff like Logan or some stuff how I feel about it later. But Blade Runner is here. Blade Runner 2049. It's a little up there. I actually like it more. So I'm going to give Blade Runner 2049 an A+. Mr. Nick?
Gosh. First of all, I'm going to explain to you that the 2 hour and 44 minutes isn't really a big deal if the movie actually is pleasing and enjoyable to watch. And this one didn't even really feel like 3 hours to me. I'm going to put that out there. That's a main point for some people because they look at the time and they're like, I don't really want to sit through it. But some movies I get that because some movies don't deserve a 3 hours. But
You also should go into there with the right. Don't be tired at all.
I was blown away by how, I guess I'll call it a masterpiece because I was, like I said, the sounds, I'm not going to go into all those, the music, the characters, the universe, the buildings, some of the copyrighted stuff that was in it that I thoroughly enjoyed seeing, like, sorry, and, but, yeah, it was pretty spectacular. I don't think there was a character I didn't like. The chick creeped me out, though.
Love?
Yes, my God. Freaking creepy. That wasn't a bad thing, but, you know, she was good. Gosh. They're neck and neck for me from the original and this one. I'm not going to quite give it an A+. I'm going to stick with an A.
Okay.
I still got those top 3 I've had all year, and it's like right there, so maybe it'll sneak into the top 3.